Hey guys, welcome back to the channel with more Euphoria. This is Season 1, Episode 7. And last time, Jules and Rue, their relationship seems like it's on the rocks. Rue clearly can tell something is wrong. Jules doesn't want all that responsibility for taking care of Rue. And we've got a lot of other different stories. Cassie might be pregnant. She nearly cheated with Daniel, and then Daniel put her down an incredible amount. It was just disgusting to watch. And meanwhile, Nate got Tyler to confess to assaulting Maddie, and choking Maddie, and then had Jules corroborate that story, which is just... I want to see Nate face some repercussions by the end of this season, but I'm not even sure if that's possible, or if it's probable. I don't know. I've heard that there's a second season in the works for this show, and I don't know if we'll have to wait for Nate to get some justice. But yeah, this... so stressful, this show. We're almost done, though. This is episode 7. We've got one episode 7 and episode 8, and then we're all caught up. But yeah, if you want to watch the full reaction, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. We're also... if you're watching this on YouTube, the season finale will be up there as well. But yeah, let's get into it. Is that baby Cassie? Not baby, but like... Oh my god, it's Lance Hunter!
Cassie's dad was really handsome. The kind of handsome that made people treat him differently.
It's freaking Lance Hunter. I love him.
Wow.
Oh, happy birthday, kittens.
But her dad couldn't afford lessons, so he stopped encouraging her. When she hit puberty.
Is it Lexi in the background? Oh my god.
Come on, give me a hug. Oh, you really filled up. Sassy Cassie. Come here.
Then one night,
No!
he was driving home from work.
Oh.
He was prescribed fentanyl for pain, promethazine to offset the nausea, and eventually months went by and she didn't hear from him at all. Until one night, there was something about the whole thing that scared her.
I want you to know there's never a day goes by I don't think about you.
Yeah.
He said he needed a few things and made her promise that she wouldn't tell a soul. When reality TV begins to feel like work, like final season of Mad Men work,
Wow.
you know you're depressed. The thought of having to stand up, exert 172 muscles each step for 35 feet just so I can sit on cold porcelain and piss out toxins over and over again for the rest of my life makes the whole concept of living feel like one long, sadistic joke. But this shit wasn't adding up. And I was putting together the pieces of the puzzle.
She's a detective in this situation.
Let's roll.
Oh, I love this.
Stop until I got the truth. Keep looking, you mook. I'm Morgan fucking Freeman, and this is the beginning of the third act.
Okay, he's some fucking jock. He's from a conservative family, and they were talking and texting. They've been texting for weeks. Very nice dick, very clean room. She never fucking saw his face.
And what is a lighter offense than statutory?
Salt.
Bingo.
Are you pouring coffee in the water filter
Yes, I am.
instead of water?
Yes, I am.
Don't do that. And it's late. You shouldn't be drinking caffeine. She fell for him. That's why she fucking testified. I'm a genius.
I'm a fucking genius. Hey, Mom! I'm a fucking genius!
I don't usually come that fast. That was amazing.
It's funny, I always thought I was gonna lose my virginity to you.
Does he not even know who she is? He doesn't even
You dated?
remember.
Yeah, in 6th grade.
I literally have no recollection of that.
You want to tell McKay that you made out with Daniel at the carnival and on Halloween? That's the craziest idea I've ever heard, right?
For sure.
Yeah, but I want to be honest with him.
I wouldn't worry about it, Cassie. It's not like you guys are gonna be together forever.
Kat, what the fuck is your problem? I miss the old Kat. You know, the one who had a sense of humor and wasn't a fucking cunt?
Damn.
I don't even know this last girl's name, but she's hilarious.
I don't know how you got out of this situation. I know you didn't deserve to, but you did. And I admire whatever it took. I just hope it didn't teach you the wrong lesson.
How you can get away with anything.
Because your bladder is trained from a very early age not to pee whenever it wants to, it needs permission from your brain. And when you're really high, your brain gets a little lazy. Too lazy to say something. It's probably why so many drug addicts die on toilets.
Huh.
Your mom tells me that you have a new, best friend.
You know what, Rick? Why don't you go fuck yourself?
How dare you speak to someone like that?
What I really meant to say is that my mom can do better, and I hate seeing you sit in the chair my dad sat at.
Ooh.
Every 90s thriller, right? Morgan Freeman plays like the same semi-psychic black cop. The point is, that's me. Right now, that is fucking me. I can see everything so fucking clearly. Do you still have that gun?
What gun?
The one from the couch. Maybe you could use one to scare Nate Jacobs.
Oh shit.
Are you serious? Ooh, that must be the dumbest shit you said all fucking day.
You don't have to fucking point it at him. You could just, you could flash it.
You really have lost your fucking mind,
Fuck.
Mouse is here.
The guy with the...
Alright, so sit down and shut the fuck up.
You do not want to see Mouse again. Freaking Rue. Oh, that look was so cute. Who said psst? Oh no.
Yo, Rue.
No.
Rue, I'm so lonely. Me too. Don't forget about me. That old lady,
Oh no.
She doesn't even know we exist. All eat us. All eat us. All eat us. All.
She went outside.
I don't got the money for all this, man.
That's why you in luck. I'ma funnel it to you. 10% on the VIG, I'm collecting a month.
I'm not trying to do all that shit, man.
I ain't asking, bro.
Hey, Anna. Someone I want you to meet.
Hi. I'm Jules.
I know.
Huh.
We just kind of kept leveling up.
What level are you at now?
I don't know. But I definitely haven't reached my full power. If I can conquer men, then I can conquer femininity.
Why do you need a guy to make you feel more feminine?
Good question.
We'll circle back to that one.
I'm pregnant.
What? Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm just a little bit nervous.
Nervous about what?
About what you're gonna say.
Oh, what you're gonna say?
You're not really thinking about having this kid, are you?
What if this is what I'm supposed to do with my life?
I don't even think you want to have this baby, okay? It's not a fucking fairy tale. Like, this may seem all cute and cuddly to you, but this is real shit.
I just wanted to dream about it for a minute.
Just leave her in her her friends alone. Is it a threat?
He absolutely learned the wrong lesson from...
You keep fucking with Rue and her friends, and I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, shit.
It's gonna be 575, Playboy.
An adult bladder can hold 2 cups of urine. But if you're telling your bladder to hold off because, say, you're in the worst depression of your fucking life, your bladder will eventually fill. All of the toxins that your kidneys have pushed into your bladder travel back into your kidneys.
Oh no. Come on, get there, get there. What? She's seeing Nate?
No. I'm sorry for everything. I'm sorry for hurting you. I'm the person that you fell in love with.
I want to kill you.
I'm yours. All yours.
You're a pussy. You're a bitch. And I wish the whole fucking world could know. You know this isn't gonna end well.
What's he doing?
Yeah, I'd like to report a crime.
No! Oh, crap.
I think I need your help.
Come on, bro, hurry the fuck up out there. Fuck. God damn it.
They gotta flush their stash.
Bro. The fuck, man?
I know you're feeling low right now, baby. But the fact that you didn't turn back means you're getting better.
Had makeup.
Every single night, I endure the flight.
Jeez.
Little wings of white flame, butterflies in my brain.
Alright guys, so episode 7, the commentary actually got muted when I was recording it, and I didn't notice until after I had seen episode 8, so I'm re-recording the commentary now, but just know I've already seen the next episode. I'll just tell you, like, I had some speculations at the end of this commentary, but I'll just say, like, oh, this is what I thought would happen in episode 8. So anyway, we had this episode focus on Cassie, and her dad is played by none other than Nick frickin' Blood. I love the actor. I loved him so much on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Over time, he just became like my favorite character on the show because his comedic timing was great, and he's just hilarious. And yeah, it seems like a common theme for this show for people, for teenagers, not to being able to be the person they want to become. I guess not even with some of the adults too, with Cal. But yeah, like Cassie with her ice skating, McKay with his NFL dream, Maddie with her pageants, Nate with his sexuality. And yeah, it's really tough to see them so badly want to be something, but not being able to do it. And like the story of Cassie growing up is really sad, and it's sometimes sickening. Like when she gets older, her older relatives start hugging her like real tight. Like that's so creepy. And then her dad couldn't keep a steady income. Her parents fought a lot. That you guys know that can mess you up so much. And then Cassie had like some some of her peers in class, classmates, tease her for parents divorcing because her mom cheated. That's so screwed up. The dad visited them on weekends, then less frequently, then not showing up when he said he would. And then the drunk driving, crashing into an oncoming truck. They gave him freaking fentanyl, which, I mean, as far as painkillers go, like those situations are maybe the ones where you can say, yeah, it should be prescribed, though I don't know what other alternatives there are. I'm guessing there are other alternatives, but there have to be like less addictive painkillers that are effective at that level of injury, right? Because like the moment he said fentanyl, I'm like, oh jeez, he's hooked and it's over. And so yeah, he got hooked, and he wound up having to do drugs to just he couldn't get it off of them. And then the week after she turned 15 was the last time she saw him. So she's 17 now, but he like texted her at night. She knew what he was doing, coming into the house to take things to sell, and she still couldn't say no to him. Yeah, it was really sad. But then it leads to her falling in love. Like I don't know how big of a connection there is between her father leaving her and her falling in love with every guy she ever dated. And it hurt so much to hear like it to Rue like narrate, like it didn't matter if they were smart or stupid, sweet or cruel. That's just so heartbreaking, and something's definitely up there. And I have guesses about like what the psychological stuff could, like what her psychology is, but I don't know enough to actually say it out loud and speculate. But yeah, there's something up there. She should go to therapy if she hasn't already. Has she? I forget. But they all wanted to tape. All her boyfriends wanted to tape her having sex with them, which, I mean, in and of itself is not a bad thing. But first, they coerce her into doing it because she never really wanted to do it, and then they freaking upload it afterwards, which is, and that scene with her ice skating in her mid to late teens was like so beautifully lit and somehow like extremely emotional. And I don't know if it was like the tears in her eyes, like knowing it was a possible way for her to connect with her father, or just how visually stunning it was, or just like all of the above. But yeah, it was heartbreakingly beautiful. And then the intro ends with her looking at a pregnancy test. I'm guessing a positive pregnancy test. So, but yeah, she just can't catch any breaks this episode. Lexi snaps at her for constantly focusing on how she looks and thinking she wants to skip school because of Daniel. And it's the first time we've really seen Lexi be kind of harsh in any way. I can understand that, like, she's normally like this biggest sweetheart, but I can understand being the younger sister. I actually don't know if they're, because they all hang out with the same group. Being the sister of someone who is constantly like, people are paying attention to her, saying how beautiful she is. And Lexi must be very conflicted because she loves her sister, and she doesn't want to suffer the same kind of sexual harassment as Cassie does. I'm sure she does as well. I'm just like not at the level that Cassie does. At the same time, she is fed up with Cassie and the way, hearing about the same thing over and over and over again, and she's like complaining about her looks, or like trying to like be super attentive to her own looks when she's already getting so many compliments. And yeah, Lexi's just, she feels conflicted for sure. And like, I can understand she might be angry also that she had to lie to McKay on Cassie's behalf to protect her. Though her saying like, your looks are all you ever talk about, everyone has always said you're beautiful, is actually very in line with what Daniel was saying. And so it's a little insensitive. But yeah, like Cassie being always the person who's praised for being beautiful, just might rub off on Lexi the wrong way, as much as she doesn't want it to, because yeah, like she might not want to be jealous but can't help it. She's a teenager, and like I said, I don't know what their age difference is. They seemingly hang out with the same group, with the same people, with the same age. So are they fraternal twins, or I don't know. But yeah, Cassie goes to the girlfriend group to ask them for advice on two things, but only gets through the first one about whether or not to tell McKay that she cheated. And they're all like, hell no. I've never actually like come even close to cheating, so I don't know what goes through people's minds when they do it. Maybe they're inclined towards, maybe some people are just more inclined towards polyamory and they cheat because they haven't figured that out yet. Some of them might not get the correct connection from their partners, which is the case with Cassie. and so they go look for it elsewhere for people who will actually appreciate her for who she is. Except for Daniel was lying out of his ass. Like I can understand a lot of why people do it, but it just doesn't click for me in my head. Like why it? Yeah, it's. I have the privilege of not. No, actually, it's not privilege because I've had some situations in the past where I've had like pretty bad relationships, but I just still didn't like want to cheat. I don't know. Anyway, Kat gets told off for her change in behavior, and yeah, I guess with the additional context that this isn't the first time Maddie has called in desperate need of like help can explain why Kat feels like it's not a big deal that she ignored her. And like it can explain it, but it doesn't excuse her ignoring her outright, especially when she's calling on the phone like crying. Like you have to set up those boundaries at some like if she wanted to set those boundaries, the time when she's crying and bawling and asking for help in desperation is not the time to set those boundaries. And yeah, she and Daniel had sex and he didn't even remember her because of course not. I mean, he didn't remember her from when they were younger. I mean, I feel like she's starting to see where exactly her life is headed now, like sleeping with a guy who couldn't care less about her. Her friends are pissed as hell at her. So maybe this is a wake-up call. She also treats Ethan like hell, like crap, and I feel like that has already blown up in her face. She does the webcam thing with the guy who offered $300 for 30 minutes, and the whole thing was creepy as hell. I'm very curious about if it's someone we actually know and how screwed up that would be. But yeah, she closes her laptop. So I think it feels like she might have reached a turning point or a breaking point. I hope it's a turning point and not a breaking point because yeah. But yeah, McKay has done some shitty things, but it doesn't seem like he's, compared to everybody else on the show, he's not horrible. Like if someone I knew was dating him, I would want them to dump him though. Like even if he's not horrible, he's not mature enough to be dating people, and like he needs a lot of therapy to work out his issues. They work out like a lot of people just work out their issues while they're in a relationship, and the partner bears the brunt of all of it, which is really like sad to see. The conversation between him and Cassie when she tells him she's pregnant was really sad. Like McKay was just saying that saying what he could to stop her from having a child, not trying to really understand what she's going through. Like he asked one question like, "Oh, are you okay?" Or "How you feel?" Like, "What are you thinking?" And at the same time, like the 17-year-old girl wonders aloud if having this child is what she's meant to do with her life, was just such a, I don't know how you reach that train of thought. Like it feels like she doesn't have anything that's important to her in her life, so she's trying to latch on to something, which at 17, I understand you don't have a lot going on. Get your friends, maybe you've got school, which isn't like your life. I don't know. She's still trying to figure herself out, and she's afraid to let go of something that could be important, especially with. I don't know how her father, her relationship with her father affects her in this moment, but I know that it does. But yeah, meanwhile, yeah, McKay is actually even like gaslighting you, like trying to tell her how she feels. Like, I don't think you even want to have this baby, Cassie. I mean, it's just, I don't even know what to say to that. And like when Cassie went to her mom and told her she needed help, and her mom got up and hugged her, I actually don't know what I was expecting her mother's reaction would be, but it wasn't that. Like, I don't know. Having parents that are like actually supportive and don't yell at you or lecture you for every little thing is completely foreign to me. And I from the way her mother acted from previous episodes, I thought she would be angrier, but she's just supportive, and it's really sweet to see. But yeah, I like to say that if I have kids at some point, a lot of what I know about parenting is just to do the exact opposite of what my parents did. But it definitely feels like Cassie will be okay though, because her mom was like, "Don't get pregnant," earlier, but then also has her back no matter what. Like when she did get pregnant, she didn't lecture her, she didn't try to make her feel guilty, she just it's a side of her we didn't see, and I'm glad it showed up here. she's always been like the wino mom, like the person, she's like consistently drunk all the time, it seems. And but yeah, it's nice to see this side of her. Meanwhile, Rue is super depressed, hasn't heard from Jules in a week, and then first thing she does hear is that Jules is going off to visit a friend. And yeah, personally, I was depressed for many years, probably from ages 11 to 27, or I wouldn't say 28, which is what I am now. I think 20, maybe very early in my 28th year, I was depressed for like, so basically 15 years at least. And at some points it got really bad. Like I missed a month of my first semester of college. Just like straight up stayed in my dorm and just did nothing. Still managed to ace my classes though. Like part of that was my higher level physics class had like a huge curve. Like I was the majority of the class was scoring in like the 30s because physics is just so weird. I don't understand. I was scoring in the 70s, so they gave me an A. I'm like, what? I don't understand. But yeah, I was never bipolar though, and I don't have OCD, so it was really interesting seeing depression through that lens with Rue. And in my mind, I've known that depression can manifest in a bunch of different ways, but like the way she put certain things just like really like opened my eyes. Like exerting 172 muscles for each step on the way to the bathroom just seems so. It's just very interesting. And then at the same time, there were parts that rung especially true to me. Like even though you know you're depressed, you're unable to stop yourself from getting worse. That was just hit me hard. And Jules is going through depression as well. Part of the problem is that she obviously cares a lot about Rue, but she also can't take the responsibility of looking after her. And there's this whole thing with Nate as well, like the guilt of putting a man in jail for an assault he didn't commit. Let's stress that Nate is still holding those photos, and as we see later, like an underlying attraction to Nate, the very perpetrator of everything horrible in her life. Well, not everything, but a lot of horrible things in her life. And Rue just doesn't even get up to like use the bathroom for so long that the urine like backs up right into her kidneys. Oh, that's so scary. I don't know, like just not even listening to your bodily function, like your body when it needs to do things. Like I ate like one meal a day when I was depressed, like super depressed. But for that month I missed college. But like just not going to the bathroom when you need to go to the bathroom is, I mean, I would limit my bathroom breaks. Not break. It's not a break. It was in my bathroom. I would limit the times I would go to the bathroom, but not to the point where I would like lay there for like 20 something hours and then be in actual pain. But that whole detective scene thing was super fun to watch. Rue and Lexi working together to pull back the curtain on all the goings on. And Rue almost gets all of it right, with the exception of Jules being in love with Nate, being the reason why she helped him. Though he appears in her fantasy, so she does have some feelings, but that's not the reason she helps him. Was that a fantasy or was it a hallucination? Actually, I don't know if she was she on anything at that point. I don't actually remember. Either way, it's not the reason Jules lied for Nate. But then yeah, Rue goes to Fez to get him to help her with Nate, which is just a horrible idea. Like maybe Fez didn't think Nate would snitch, but you don't take that chance. And then Nate is on cloud freaking 9, got the drug dealer out of his hair, probably got out of the assault charge, has all his social capital back. He just walks into that party and people chant his name. God, somebody send him to jail, please. That's my one biggest ship, Nate in jail. Meanwhile, Fez, after Mouse forced him to take more drugs to move, was forced to flush all of it, which is a horrible situation. Like, Mouse is not someone you want to be indebted to. So yeah, when I was watching this episode, I thought, like, I doubt they have enough money lying around to pay off Mouse, since most of their money probably goes towards their mortgage. And so if I'm ever a drug dealer, I'm keeping like a big stack of money just in case. Like, never agree to sell more than I can pay back, so my head isn't on the chopping block if somehow my drugs get confiscated or I have to get rid of them. Actually, I probably would have tried to find a better place to keep my drugs in the first place. And actually, I've watched Breaking Bad, El Camino now, and that, if you've seen it, that hiding place is pretty darn good. But yeah, like, only take out the drugs when it's time to sell them. But yeah, if they don't have the money to pay Mouse, which they don't, since I've seen episode 8, they're going to be in big trouble. I don't know if there's going to be I didn't know if there was going to be a big confrontation next week. I thought maybe Fez would decide to kill Mouse, or maybe he hits Nate's house since Nate's family is one of the richer families in the city. Revenge would just be an extra perk. But though that would be like a little too easy for him for them to track it back to Fez, given that Nate just called the cops on him. But yeah, choosing to threaten someone's life while holding that many drugs, I think we know Fez would be willing to kill if he's backed into a corner. So that situation, we'll have to pay attention to that situation next episode. So actually, I was really sad that the next episode is going to be the final one. There's like no room for the show to be resolved the way I wanted it to be. There's no time for happily ever after with our beloved characters. There's no time for justice for those who were wronged, or justice for those who wronged others. And I felt like a lot of more characters deserved an intro episode and didn't get one. Would have loved to see Fez growing up. Definitely want to know more about Lexi too. Maybe even an episode centered on Cal. Though, I guess this story is really about the teenagers. But then, yeah, we catch up with Jules visiting her friend and meeting her friend, Anna. Kind of felt that instant chemistry, and I realized I don't think we ever, like, confirmed if Rue and Jules were in a polyamorous relationship. That is really annoying. But yeah, all the other relationships we've seen on the show have, like, Cassie feeling bad because she cheated, so monogamous. Unless, like... I mean, it's monogamous. There are things I could say, but like it's monogamous. We know that. We have Maddie and Nate being monogamous, and Kat got so mad at Ethan because she thought he was talking to that girl, or like flirting with that girl. But yeah, Anna and Jules wind up making out, but the juxtaposition of her having a great time with Rue, the juxtaposition of her having a great time with Rue curling onto the floor because she can't make it to the bathroom was heartbreaking. And then like Jules, or I remember she was tripping on something, like she saw Nate coming to her and asking for forgiveness and all that. And I was like, she's still searching for that connection that she thought she had with Tyler or Shy Guy 118. And she kisses him and like sticks her finger in his mouth and calls him names. I think it might play into that conversation she had with Anna earlier about conquering femininity by conquering men. Getting Nate Jacobs to fall in line would be quite conquer. It would fill that role of conquering men. But yeah, I don't know what it's going through her mind, or if it had nothing to do with her subconscious and her drugs are just being weird. But yeah, I feel like every teenager needs mandatory therapy. Because I had like a, not a social worker. We had a counselor in high school. I never spoke to her once, and I definitely could have used that resource. Yeah, I'd be so much better off if I had just gone to a therapist much earlier. Anyway, obviously, yeah, I've already seen the next episode, but hopefully, yeah, look forward to it next week. If you want to watch the next one, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. You can also check out the full reaction there as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.